Going on, everybody? This is Alex, the Comic Hoarder. Thank you so much for clicking play on this video. In this video, I will talk about how I bought a collection yesterday and the day before how I found out about this collection with a weird interaction at a local comic shop. And then I've got a long box full of Mylar books. So these are ready to go. These are ready to show off, and these are ready for the collection. I'm going to be showing you some of the highlights of this comic book collection. So hopefully you guys are excited. Hopefully you're ready. Here we go. This video is sponsored by the Shortbox app. It's the easiest and safest way to buy graded comic books online. There's a link in the description below to download the app and start shopping or selling today. I am in the process of preparing for a comic convention that I set up for, I think this will be the 4th year in a row. It's the Big River Comic Con in Hannibal, Missouri, and I'm really excited about that. It's on the 14th and 15th. So if you're available, check it out. Check out the Instagram, check out the website, but definitely check out Big River Comic Con in Hannibal, Missouri. It's a great show. It's super fun. And I'll be there. I'll be there to set up, and sell some comic books out of my collection to hopefully fund more comic books for my collection. So I was in need of some long boxes because I take, some of my stock and put it in these long boxes, just help organize and find out what I'm going to bring to the show. So 2 days ago, I went to a local comic book shop, a place that I shop at quite a bit. I won't mention the name of it, but I will let you know that it's not STL Comics. It is not Box Seat Cards and Collectibles, and it's not Great River Collectibles. So it's another one of my shops that I like. And I noticed that when I pulled up, there was an elderly couple with their trunk up and the comic book manager, and they were sifting through a trunk full of comic boxes. And so I was like, oh my gosh. I got out of the car and I started walking in, and I was like, I don't want to walk past this. I kind of want to watch what's going on. And the comic book manager was so focused on the people and so focused on the comics that I just sat in my car and watched them. And I just sat there like a vulture, just kind of circling over. But I was parked. But in my mind, I was circling over. And I knew that I needed to make a move on this comic book collection. So I saw the comic manager like scratching his head, like kind of shaking his head, him hawing around, looking through the comics again, then scratching his head some more. And ultimately he put out his hand, shook both of the couple's hands, and then he walked back inside. And then the couple started to close the trunk and then walk back to each side of the car. And the gentleman was walking towards the passenger side. So I immediately grabbed a business card and kind of jogged over to where he was. I was like, sir, are you looking to sell those comic books? And he's like, actually, yes, I am. So I handed him my business card. I said, if you would like to show me, I'm a collector. So I don't need a big margin on these comic books. I usually pay more than comic book shops do. He said, absolutely, come, check them out right now. You can even come over to our house and check them out at our table. We can set them up there. You can sit down and look at them as much as you want to. I said, no, I'm fine. I'll just take a peek real quick. So they said, absolutely. So they popped open the trunk. I'm rifling through. I'm seeing some Silver Age Avengers, Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man. I saw some Silver Age and Bronze Age Hulk. And I'm like looking through there and I'm like 178. 179, 182. And I'm like, oh, if you guys would have had 180 or 181, those would have been a couple $1,000s right there in that box. And I said, you know what? Based on what I'm seeing, I'm definitely interested. What are you looking for? And he said, well, a buddy of mine who is into comic books looked at the collection and he offered me $650. So anything more than that, I'd be interested in. I said, okay, well, I'll go home tonight, get some money out of the ATM where I bank in my town. And then I'll come back tomorrow with $700. How's that sound for you? And he goes, absolutely. But I want you to look through the boxes more. I want you to make sure you know what you're getting. So I said, okay, sounds fine. So the next morning I'm heading back to their house, get the money out of the ATM, head back to their house, and they're eating breakfast. And so they have me in for breakfast and have some coffee with them. And they're just sitting there enjoying their waffles and coffee. And we're just talking about life, our kids. They're talking about their hobbies and what they do for a living. And I'm talking about what I do for a living. We're talking about local and national news. It was an amazing time. And to be honest, comics weren't on my mind. It was the interaction with these two people who have lived a life that's worth sharing. And he's also a veteran too, which was really cool. After that, the wife says to the husband, I bet he's got something he's got to do today. And because I was dressed for work, and they said, and we need to do some yard work. So I said, show him the comic books. So we walk out, they're still in the trunk of the SUV. And so we're looking through the comic books and I'm loving what I'm seeing. And I said, this is great. They're talking about, then we start talking about other collections that they have. So long story or short story about this comic book collection was, I said, were you the collector? He said, no, my late wife was the comic book collector. She loved these comic books and she loved comics just in general from a young age to when she passed. And so this was kind of her lifelong collection. And he said, a couple weeks ago when the tornadoes came through the central Illinois and Indiana, these were stored in the basement. 2 days before the tornadoes came through, we were getting puzzles out of the basement, and the puzzles were on top of the comic books, which the comic books were on the floor. You guys know where this is going. They took the puzzles and they donated them to a local like long-term care facility, retirement home, just so they could have some puzzles and stuff to do. The comic books were brought upstairs. They said, let's go through these, let's look at them, and let's like ultimately get rid of these comic books. 2 days after they brought them upstairs, tornadoes came through. The basement was flooded, 2 inches of standing water on the floor. These would have been ruined. So it was a God thing that they saved the comics, and it was a God thing that I went up to them and asked them if I could look at the comic books. So we agreed on $700. He said he'd be more than happy with $700. I said, there's probably more value in here. They said, that's fine. I said, if you find a $500 comic book, individual comic book in there, tell us and we'll celebrate with you. But not asking for anything extra. So I was really happy about that. So I after we made the deal, I said, I don't want to be nosy or anything, but what did the comic book shop offer you? And I'm not throwing him under the bus, but I'm throwing him under the bus, but I'm not mentioning who I'm throwing under the bus. But they offered them $55. $55 for 7 short boxes of Silver and Bronze Age comics, which they know darn well that there were keys in this, and they're Silver Age, Marvel, and DC. So I don't know what they were thinking, but they missed the boat on a great collection, and I was happy to benefit from their huge flub up. So anyways, now we're going to show you guys what's in this comic book collection. And so what I did was I took from the 7 short boxes, I condensed the best stuff into 2 long boxes, and then have the rest of the stuff just stored away. There's still some great stuff in those too, so don't get me wrong. There's still Silver and Bronze Age, DC and Marvel. But what I just pulled out was the stuff that I immediately saw that caught my eye or immediately saw that was a key issue, and I put them into Mylar. And then there's another long box in there that I don't have enough Mylar. So those will be for another time. All right. I'm going to show you guys what's in this long box right now. But if you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscription button, hit that bell to be notified when there's featured videos. And also, if you guys could throughout the video, just hit that thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. My son, my 15-year-old, so my oldest, he picked out a book that he liked. It's The Legend of Zelda #1. This is kind of like the first ongoing. There's a Nintendo Comic Systems book that I think Zelda and Link's first appearance is in. So this isn't the first appearance, but it's kind of like the first ongoing. There's also a variant of this that's worth a little bit more. In this condition, this book's probably worth $75 to $100, something like that. But I'm going to give that one to my oldest. Then I found this one, A Date with Millie, and #1. I saw that's pretty cool. So this is volume 2, #1, probably from the mid to late 50s. And then I was like, this is a really thin book. And sure enough, I counted the pages, and there's probably like 2 or 3 wraps missing in this one. But it's a neat book. If it was complete, maybe $100 book, but it's not. Was happy to find a stack of Golden Age in there. Silly Tunes #4. I don't think there's any significance. It's just a nice condition copy of this book. I was really happy to find this one. I didn't know this one was in the collection, but Tessie #12. I didn't see this when I was looking through. Bathing Beauties Contest. So this is really neat, timely comic from probably 1946 or 47. First comic appearance of Star-Lord. This was like, these next 2 were like the newest books that they had in there. XMen #4. First appearance of Omega Red. And Omega Men #3, first appearance of Lobo. I thought those were great, and I pulled those out and put them into Mylar. Like 95% of the stuff was Silver and Bronze Age. Just a few of those newer Copper Age books. Star Wars #2. This is the first appearance of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then also maybe Han Solo and Chewbacca. Then first cover appearance in issue #3, 2 copies of that. Very nice copies. Miss Marvel #17. This is the second cameo of Mystique. There's the first cameo in 16. Then second cameo in 17 and first full in 18. Really great book there. Moon Knight #1 had a lot of issues from this run. Really nice Bill Sienkiewicz collectible covers, almost like a straight run of those Bill Sienkiewicz covers. So I was really happy about that. Moon Knight #1. I remember when that book was a $1 book, but now it's kind of picking up steam. Nice stack of Amazing Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man #20. Looks like a price sticker or something was on there. First appearance of Cat Burglar. Great John Romita. This is the first John Romita work on Amazing Spider-Man. And this is when Green Goblin and Spider-Man find each other's identities in issue number 39. Issue number 40 is the first origin, or the origin of Green Goblin. Classic early cover of Mysterio, number 66. Another classic Romita cover, 67. 2 copies of 71. Really great. I've always loved that Quicksilver cover. Number 74. Classic John Romita cover, 75. First appearance of the Prowler, 78. Second appearance of the Prowler, 79. And then first appearance of Kangaroo, number 81. Then there was a few Avengers. Avengers number 18. Avengers number 33. For some reason, I love the green covers on Avengers. Avengers number 39, great Hercules cover. And then another green cover, Avengers number 56. This is the origin of Captain America retold. Some cool Fantastic Four, number 43. This is Fantastic Four number 53. This is the first appearance of Claw, the first appearance of Black Panther's father, T'Chaka, and then the first mention of Vibranium. Here is 68, 69. All of these are Jack Kirby covers, Stan Lee stories. 2 issues, 2 copies of number 70, number 80. Number 81, Crystal joins the Fantastic Four. Number 89, cool cover. Number 97, this is the first cover appearance of Franklin Richards as a baby. And then 103, this is the second appearance of Agatha Harkness and a great Submariner cover. All right, Green Lantern, 62. These are out of order a little bit. 67. 68. 48. First appearance of Goldface, I believe. And then one of the lowest grade copies, lowest grade comics in the collection. It's got a tear and some tape. This is number 55. Okay, some Hulk. Hulk 102, the big premiere issue. Love that book. 103. 108, great red cover there with Nick Fury. 109. 110. 112. And 139. Some Strange Tales. 141. 142. 144. And 151. There's some cool Submariner. Submariner number 2. Really nice copy of that. Number 7. Number 10. Number 11, nice black cover. Number 13. I love this cover. Human Torch versus Namor, the Submariner. Number 14. Also love this cover. So you've got the foreign price and the US price. Great cover of number 20. Number 23. Love this Red Raven from the Golden Age. Number 26. Number 30 with Captain Marvel. 33. 37. And then 2 copies of number 42. Tales to Astonish, number 71, 72, 77, 81, 83. This one's pretty neat, so check this out. 85, great date stamp, August 16th, 1968. And then look at the difference in the color on these two. Very, very crazy. Deep greens on this one, light greens on this one, almost grays. And then as you can see on the top, there's not much difference. So I don't know what happened to the greens. They ran out of ink on the greens, or they didn't apply the ink on the greens, but it's not really faded on top. So it must have been a printer error or an ink error. So yeah, that's kind of neat. 97 and another copy of 97. All right, some Thor Journey into Mystery 123. 139, this is the first cover appearance of Lady Sif. 140, this is the first appearance of Growing Man. 150, this is the first cover appearance of Hela. It's the origin of Inhumans. 158. 160. 163. Origin of Galactus, and there's 3 copies of that. 169. 170. 171. 72. 174, the first appearance of Crypto Man. 176. 181. And then 189. Last 2 books are X-Men books. I didn't know there was any Silver Age X-Men in the lot. And then I found this one. I was pretty excited. X-Men number 52. Some folds there at the bottom. Some color breaking creases at the bottom. But was happy to find some Silver Age X-Men. And then I made an audible gasp and like a yes when I found X-Men number 129. The first appearance of Emma Frost. Kitty Pryde and the Hellfire Club. Great book here. So really happy to have X-Men 129, one of my favorite books. I think my copy is a little bit better than this one, so this one might be for sale at the Comic-Con, Big River Comic-Con. So I'm not sure. I am not sure, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, there's more books in this. I don't know if they're worth showing, but there's some other keys, some great covers. But I just wanted to give you guys the story and the great highlight of how this comic collection came about. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Thank you again. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscription button, hit that bell to be notified when there's future videos. Thumbs up, you guys, really do appreciate it. It really does help out. And also comment down below. And with that being said, I will talk to you all on the next one. See ya. Bye.